So we can get started here. This is the fifth. This was a 5-part webinar series. Wow. The fifth of our Overcoming Resistance in Trading series. We are here. I'm Charlie Bathgate, managing partner of Sang Lucci and Wall Street Jesus, and I'm here with Sang Lucci himself. You guys all know him. And we are here. This whole series has been about overcoming psychological resistance. So the things that originate within our minds that stop us from doing what we want to do, the ways that we get in our own way. Every single one of us has these things in our personal lives, obviously in our trading lives. And the name of the game in order to increase our performance is finding ways to overcome that and meeting that resistance every single day and pushing through it. So we've had a lot of discussions so far. We had one with Lucci. We had one with trading psychology expert, 30-year trading veteran and meditation expert, Chris Cady. We had one with Ronchero Friedman. Both those guys are going to be teaching extra classes in the Sang Lucci Master Course coming up, so you guys get more access to them if you sign up for the course. But the webinars that we do with them are awesome. They're on the YouTube channel. We have a playlist for this whole series. So if you guys are just dropping in, you can go to the YouTube channel and check out the playlist. And the whole reason we're doing all this, Lucci, can I share my screen real quick?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll pass it to you.
Whoops, how do I do that?
Here we go.
There we go. Show my screen. So the whole reason we're doing this is because the Sang Lucci Master Course, the next live session starts on Monday. We've had a lot of people asking us like, hey, love this stuff. How do I learn? How do I learn everything Lucci does? How do I learn from Chris and Ronch? When is the next class? And class is Monday. Class starts Monday. The next course does. So we're running a deal. You get $750 off if you sign up before Monday. So sign up, get involved. We can go in more detail towards the end of this. We do payment plans. We get a lot of people asking about that. If you want to break up the payment across 4 months, we can totally do that. But you learn everything. You learn everything that Lucci does. A lot of the tools that we're going to talk about in this webinar, you learn how to do everything that he does, and then you learn how to customize and apply it to your own style, your own methodology, really know how to make it work for you. 12 live classes for 3 weeks per night. They start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. They go for about an hour and a half, and we do that for 3 nights per week for 4 weeks. Those are with Lucci directly. Then we do the live tape reading sessions. Then we do the 2 classes with Ronchero on his long-term options trading strategy called Trading the Post, which has been awesome. People have loved that. We've actually gotten some incredible feedback on that from people in the course so far. And then we're doing the trading psychology classes with Chris Cady. So this is the whole shebang, man. This is everything. You get access to the Steam Room for a month, private chat room with Lucci. It's a very good deal. So you can check that out if you go to. I will drop this in the chat. You go to 3ltplaybook.com. You go through the little experience that we created there. You get to the end of that. You can check out this product page, or you can just use this URL right there. So we can talk more about that, take your questions, but I'll stop the sales pitch right now and we can get into what we're here to talk about. Lucci, you want to take you can take the screen back.
Yes, sir.
So we are here to talk about process. We've done a lot of talking about like ways that that these guys who are seasoned veteran professional traders, I think, manage their headspace outside of the markets, and a little bit of what they do when they're actually trading. Wall Street Jesus had talked specifically a lot about that in terms of how he manages things, when he's in the markets. But we're talking about process today, and one of the reasons we're talking about that is because when you are the fastest way to anchor yourself, anchor your mind, and focus it, and stop yourself from getting pulled down into rabbit holes and places that you don't want to be, is to ground yourself in your process. So instead of thinking about the outcome, instead of thinking about the P&L, instead of thinking about what you're going to do with the money that you make or how much money you need to make, you focus on the process, what you need to do in order to create that outcome. And Lucci, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're going to walk us through a couple recent trade examples.
I got a great one from today, basically, that I'm just going to walk you through. I'll give you guys executions and all this kind of shit, but more so than that, give you guys my my particular process, and it is very unorthodox. And again, like, Charlie mentioned that when you take the course, yeah, we're gonna teach you how to read tape. We're gonna teach you how to price options. We're gonna teach you why shit moves the way it is, what you need to be thinking about versus what you are thinking about now, the shit that you have to unlearn and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, we could give you all this shit. I could give you my whole fucking strategy. That doesn't mean you're gonna make a dime, man. You still have to understand what works for you. You still have to kind of create your own process, and that's kind of what Charlie's talking about here. So
Yeah.
That's kind of the world that you have to. That's kind of the world that we put you in, and then we force you to start thinking about how it's going to work for you. Because most of you guys, a lot of you guys have different. You don't have as much time to spend, on the markets as somebody else does. You might have other businesses and all this kind of other stuff, and you can't put the same things to use, but they are applicable
Sounds right.
in whatever strategy that you guys choose, or whatever product that you want to trade, whether it's futures, even the crypto space as well.
Right.
So where did you want to start here? Where did you want to have me start here?
Let's start with, what do you think? I know Spencer put together some examples for you, right? So there was the Netflix example, there was the Shopify example, and I think, I don't know if this pulling up tape is probably difficult, but we were talking about flow.
Yeah.
Just looking at how those trades kind of came together and the things that you saw in them.
Yeah.
And
okay.
We'll start there.
All right, let's take a look at, and first of all, let me know if you guys can see this chart okay. You might have to zoom in on your screen alone, just to see the charts, but let me know if it's coming in okay for you. I'm looking at a chart of Shopify up here, and I'm going to make it a little interactive here. I want you guys to get involved here. How many of you guys were trying to catch that? How many of you guys were involved in the short on Shopify? I think this was back in September. How many of you guys were involved in that short, or tried to get involved in it? How many of you guys played the shop move on the way up from freaking $100 to $400? I mean, Shopify has been really, you could even say Shopify has created the years for a lot of people. It has paid a lot of people out. It has probably also destroyed a lot of people as well. But how many of you guys were actually involved in this Shopify? How many of you guys actually trade this Shopify? Kaiser here saying his girlfriend was long on Robinhood from $75. Marry her, man. Just marry her. Just marry the girl right now, man. That's it. Put the ring on it. Put the ring on it and tell her you do whatever the fuck she wants you to do. All right? That's how it's gonna go for Kaiser here. He doesn't even need to be here. You know what I mean? Kaiser doesn't even need to be here. Okay, so the drop on Shop, what does everybody want to do after you get this big major pullback on Shopify? And again, it's a simple question here. What is everybody looking to do once you get that big dropout on a name like a Shopify that has run from $100 to $400? Obviously, this thing was going to pull back at some point. After it pulls back 100 point, what does everybody want to do? Where is everybody trying to position themselves? Anybody? Is it long or is it short? There's only two fucking answers here. Let's go, people. What is it? Okay, most of you guys here are going to throw out the long, right? Everybody's going to try to catch the dip. This is Shopify here. Chances are it'll go back, all this kind of stuff. Now, what is the difficulty for most of you guys when you're trying to, let's say, catch a bottom, catch a top, especially trying to dip by something? What is the issue that you come into? Okay, what is the biggest issue? Martin's got it with the timing, right? But it's not only timing, it's the ranges, right? It's the ranges, and they will press you to the extremities of this range. And what usually happens to most people at the extremities of these ranges, okay? And again, I'll just circle it up here, and I'll circle it down here. What usually happens to the majority of people during these particular ranges? Martin here's got another answer here. It's the shakeouts, and we could call them shakeouts, but you could also say that's where they'll juice the volatility on the options. Okay, and what does that mean? What does that mean? A lot of you guys might not know what that means. What that means is right here, the call options for Shopify go through the fucking roof, right? And you got to pay way up for these things. And then right down here, when when you're taking a look at some of the puts, they're so fucking expensive. And the point is to get people so involved in this that everybody believes this shit's going to happen right now. This shit's going to happen right here. Or this shit's going down right here. This is where it's all going down. Let's pay up. Let's pay all this money for these options. And unfortunately, what ends up happening multiple times over and over and over again is that most people, they end up just getting stuck in these things. And then the option premium goes to fucking shit. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to zero in on what happened to Shop. And remember, like, I've been barely trading, right? I've barely been trading, you know, but I've seen this happen so many times where look at what happens here, right? Shopify, again, making the attempt, right? Getting the 340. It's at the high end of this range. Okay. And then this happens. Okay. And raise your hand. Did anybody get caught in this? Did anybody get caught in this? And again, do not be embarrassed to throw it out there. This shit happens to all of us. Remember, it's meant to happen. And this is kind of where we bring you for the course. You know what I mean? Because you got to always be able to stick and move and watch what's actually happening from the folks who are pushing these things around. We teach you how to watch the footprints while you're sitting there watching the tape. And then we teach you how to predict the reaction on the options when you're taking a look at the fucking options, which is so freaking important. So let's just take an example here, and let's take a look at the, I don't know, we'll take a look at the 340 calls on the Shopify right now, okay? And let's take a look at where these things kind of flopped everybody out, okay? So let's pull these up for the last 5 days, and you can see here that this is where it was. So let's go back to 10 days, okay? So we got a $2 option that goes to $10, right? Everybody's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. We're going to get paid here. We're going to be able to sell at $35. And remember, if this is where most of the people are piled in, if I'm the market maker and I'm the one saying, all right, you know what? We're selling these calls. We're selling these calls. We're selling these calls. We got too much risk out here. And look at what happens on the first, by the way, this is the first 30 minutes of the day. And this is Shopify. It's already an illiquid stock, okay? It's already an illiquid stock. And remember, if any of this terminology is confusing to you, this will all be explained in full detail when you take the course. Shop is already an illiquid name. So have any of you guys wondered why some of the biggest moves happen in the first 5 minutes or the first 10 minutes? Well, guess what? The market maker doesn't have to pay out that much if you guys are sitting there twiddling your thumbs and you're on your ass. You know what I mean? You don't want to get involved in this shit because it's moving too fucking fast. There's no way you're going to get involved in this. Okay? So that's part of the game. That's what needs to happen. That's what the market makers need to happen. Now, look at this. Let's say you bought at $5. Let's say you bought at $7. Let's say you bought at $8, $9, expecting to go to 35. They put in this day. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What you going to do? Let's say you bought at $7.50. Let's say you bought at $8. The shit's worth $2 right now. What are you going to do? Now, most retail, you're going to blow out of this thing. You're going to blow it. You're going to look at this thing and be like, oh my God, I am the worst trader in the world. And you're going to sell it. Now, who are you selling back to? Who are you selling back to? Who did you buy from up here at $7.50, $8, $9, $6, $5? Who did you buy from? You bought from the same motherfucker that's buying from you at an 80% discount. So he's over there being like, gotcha, bitch. And now look at what happens, right? Now, also think about this. How many of you would take this loss and gladly get back into the trade after you took an 80% loss, after you gutted your whole position? How many of you would happily hop back in? How many of you would do it? And don't fucking lie to me. Oh, I know if you're lying. Okay? There's not many of you that would do this. Okay? Some of you guys are saying yes, which is great. Okay? Why won't most of you do this? Why? Because you have the attachment to the loss that you just took. This is a behavioral thing. These people know this already, all right? That's why it works like this. This is exactly why it works like this, okay? So you got the loss stuck in the back of your head. You ain't coming back in. So now Mr. Market Maker owns all of the inventory. They own all of the inventory, and now they'll gladly sell it back to you. Oh, you want it up at 15? Yes, sure. Take it, take it. I got it all. I got all the inventory at $2. You don't have shit, right? You want it at 22? Oh yeah, buy it, buy it. You want it at 30? Word, great. I'm in at 2. I'm selling it to your dumbass at $30. You know what I mean? This is the way the shit works, okay? So literally right now, you guys can disappear. You don't have to take the course. You don't have to do shit. You can literally take what I just showed you right here, and you can try to figure this game out. And this is where all the money is, right here. This is where it all is, right here. You can literally do this and try to find these situations that happen in the market, and they happen every single week. They happen somewhere every single day. They happen everywhere. Okay. Now, the difficult part is how come most people don't understand this? How come most people don't understand where to position? How come most people can't deal with their behaviors or whatever? There's all kinds of other factors that are going on and that you need. There's all kinds of other knowledge as far as execution, as far as behavioral shit, as far as how market makers work, as far as how to read the tape, that you gotta put it all together. And then you can look at this situation and be like, okay, there's $1 million on the fucking table right here. Am I gonna go pick it up today? Okay.
Right.
So that's point blank. That's the easiest kind of example. And by the way, I've been doing this for years now. This has been happening since I fucking started, and it's still happening today. What does that mean? That means all of us, you included, we still haven't gotten smarter. That means our emotions are still doing shit like this, okay? And that means we're that easy to be pushed around, okay? So think about that, all right? So
Luch,
yeah.
real quick, so if you're like now being in the position that you're at right there, when they're just ripping that down,
Sure.
the way that you keep yourself from falling into that emotional manipulation that those market makers know they're preying on, is that you're just focusing in on tape, you're focusing on flow, and you're
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now it's about, if you're gonna stay in it, number one, you got to know pain is coming. So you have to either be ready for the pain, which most people aren't, or number two, you have to hedge. If you hedge, you can keep yourself in the game. You can keep that loss a little bit tighter. That way, you're not, you can soften the blow a little bit and go to the next day. But at no point are you not going to take losses. Okay, I'll say that again. At no motherfucking point are you not going to take losses. All right. So if you try to play this game, and by the way, this is where all the millions are. If you look at any of your stock, Amazon, this, whatever it is that you're trading, this is where it is. If you're trying to be a part of this, there's no moment in time where losses aren't going to happen. Okay. Now, there are obviously ways that you can protect yourself, that you can move around. But most of it is all predicated on you being able to control your emotions while you're in the mix. And that's a whole nother discussion. And you should watch the last 4 parts of this series if you want to get a tackle on that. And again, during the course, we really go through that. Okay. So let me go through an example of a trade today. Okay. And this is Shopify here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up. My position here on Shopify, so you guys can see this short call here. These 380 short calls. So I was able to sell these at around 2.25. Now what I want you to do is take a look at the spread here. So take a look at the actual spread here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a look at this 380 call, and then I'll give you the setup here as we kind of move along. So my theory coming into today was, okay, I see what you guys did on Shopify. This is the big run where everybody wanted. There had to be the last shakeout to get everybody out, right? I missed the whole move. I missed the whole fucking move. I wasn't trading, past couple of days or whatever. As soon as I saw Shopify yesterday, I'm looking at this and I'm saying the same things that I'm saying to you to myself. And I'm like, okay, all right. Let me go ahead and lean in here and see if I can try to find a little bit of a top, right? And this is kind of my strategy as of late. And again, we'll teach you all about writing options and all this kind of shit, but just look at it as a short position basically. And we're shorting calls. For any of you guys that don't know how to short options, write options, don't worry about it. It's not that hard. Basically, we're becoming the market maker. Okay. So I'm watching the tape this morning. Okay, and that's all this. This is all level 2 and just time and sales. I'm watching it this morning and I see the spike up. So first thing that happened, they kind of just dropped it out, and then I see this spike up. The reaction to the spike up, that's when I started to get heavy. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring in my executions here too. Okay, so shit, these don't even have fucking timestamps. Wow, that shit is useless, yo. I guess we're just gonna have to go from here. I mean, this goes this way and up, so we'll go from here, right? So off the open, and remember, it's a spread. So I'm selling this call, and I'm buying the 400 call, okay? So I'm getting these for around $2, $2.50, $3 even, and you can see kind of all the way up, and these are the fill prices, okay? So you can see this option is still very volatile. Now remember, this is Shopify, it's Thursday. These options expire tomorrow. There's already a lot of volatility in here. And again, these are concepts that you're gonna have to slowly start to pick up. Why is an option priced the way it is? Why the shit is worth $2 right here? How come when the stock ran 3 points, this option also ran, 2 points as well? You need to understand why these things do these things, okay? And that's something that we go through the course in detail as well. How to look at options pricing, why they're worth what they're worth. Now, once I saw the dump here, so basically that tells me like, hey, we gave 380 a shot. We gave 380 a shot, and we said, fuck it, we're gonna be, that's it. We're gonna gut this. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, start selling more, start selling more, start selling more. So you can see me here, 10 lots, 10 lots, 10 lots. I'm just selling whatever I can get my hands on, right? I keep selling. Look at this, two and a quarter. I'm still selling $3. It looks like up here. And let's keep going. And look at this, right? So I'm getting fills up here at 380. So this is when the shit started to move against me, right? So I start selling at $2, 2 and a quarter, $3, right? And then this thing starts moving against me. So I'm down, okay? And remember, this is Shopify. This is what it is. So I knew this was gonna be the situation, and I'm getting up to about 200 contracts. I wanted to get up to about 200 contracts. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, you notice how I cut my position size down too. It's like, all right, because you never know how much this shit can run on you. And then this is when the fade happened. This is exactly when the fade happened. You see, it's back down to $3, back down to 275, and then we keep going. And then I think I'm trading all this other shit at the same time. You see, I even went market here. I got to fill at 213. Okay, so that's this move. That's this move right here. Okay. So at this point, at around, 10 o'clock? At 10 o'clock, I'm up like 20 grand. I'm up 30 grand. I'm good, right? I'm happy. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go to the gym. And that really meant watch that Irishman on Netflix. If anybody wants that shit.
Scorsese movie.
I fell asleep last night. I fell asleep last night watching it. I was like, all right. I'm up 30 grand. I'm going to go watch this shit. And then, whatever. So then I'm looking at the tape all of a sudden, and it's like, dude, there's a phantom bid in this thing. And I'm like, oh shit, right? Because at that point I sized up. So I had to wait through all this pain. Now, the key is when you see on that tape and you see you're about to get fucking run over, what are the things that you can do? Okay, and I'm going to ask you guys here, but again, this is something that we go through thoroughly during the course, because if you're playing names like this, you've got to be able to stick and move. So what could you do when you're looking at the tape and you know you're about to get run over or something's about to change or move? What can you do? Okay, Norris is saying to buy the calls. Exactly. Since I'm short the 380s, right? Come to the 370s or come to something that's in the money and just sit there and play the move. Because I know I'm still selling calls that are far out the money. I don't have to worry that much, okay? I can make $1 and $2, maybe a couple dollars on this while I'm getting smoked out or going back to break even on the other trade, okay? So that's number one. That's number one thing that you can do, okay? I think I just lost that shop chart here, so give me a second here while I get it back. And then if you notice, as soon as this thing topped out, I want to show you my executions here so you can see me coming in here and again just going aggressive. Because if it failed again here or if it failed anywhere, guess what? My game is I'm still correct. This was just kind of a little bit of a shakeout that I had to sit through, okay? And again, the tape here will show you the way the whole time. So let's keep going. And you notice here, look at this. I was even adding at $1. You can see the option all the way went down to $1. This is when I'm up like 20 grand and change. And then and then look at what the option is, right? It's back to $2. The spread's back to $2. Look at this, back to 285, back to 257. I'm still getting fills, right? So at that point, look at this. I even got a fill at $3. Okay. So I'm still in this thing. And then all of a sudden, that's it. You know, the thing just kind of packed out. And now look at where it ended up. Because again, tomorrow's Friday. So I love shit like this. This is my bread and butter right now because guess what? I don't have to be at the key. I don't have to be at my desk like aggressively every single second of every single day. So I can still make 100 grand, 200 grand every single month by finding shit like this. You know what I mean? Because I can find something that's far out of the money. I wouldn't say far out of the money because this was not far out of the money at all. I can find something that's out of the money. That's exactly. I can find something that's out of the money, and I got 2 days left till expiration. So those odds are in my favor, and I just have to sit there and work the tape. I got to sit there and just watch that tape and make sure that this thing is just going to slow down for a day. As long as it slows down for a day, all of that premium is just going to come the fuck out, okay? Because, again, I'm 20 points out by the end of the day. I mean, look where it closed, right? 363. I'm 20 points out. There's still $1 left on that damn spread. And now I'm going to make, I'm going to end up making 70 grand on this thing, and that's using a good amount of fucking leverage indeed. But remember, I have a lot of other positions here as well. So I don't know exactly how much leverage I use for this particular one, but you guys get the picture. Okay. And you guys also see the range in some of those options as well. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people are, by the way, in the room today, everybody's on it. Everybody was on it. A lot of people were shorting some calls. There was so much opportunity in there as well. So when you do get the course, you also get the 3 months free of the room. And the room is really where you're going to exercise the muscles. You know what I'm saying? I think I was watching a podcast with James Altucher. You remember that dude? You remember Boris? Boris from GoldenEye. I was watching Boris from GoldenEye, and he was like, whenever I just usually write, even though I know like an ideal or a concept or whatever is going to be whack, I just need to do it. You just need to exercise that muscle. So so exactly what I was telling you guys before, we can teach you all this shit, but guess what? I know damn well you ain't gonna do shit with it unless you practice. You're there every day. You're trying to get it to work. You're putting in the effort, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a pretty sweet example, I would say, for and again, we're not showing the tape side. So the tape side is what you're gonna get when you're in the course. So that's when we're gonna sit there and go through a time in sales and literally just spend an hour on this damn thing and see exactly like how we can look at this tape and how we can figure out, is supply greater, is demand greater, who's going to win this battle, this stock's going up, this stock's going down, maybe there's a big ass buyer sitting somewhere, maybe there's a big ass offer sitting somewhere. There's a lot of other things that you're going to grab in the tape that you're going to be like, oh shit, okay, I know I'm about to get run over, so I need to hedge. And that's kind of the way that we teach our students here. It's just kind of how to stay objective. And it's a difficult thing when you're trading a name like Shopify and you're in there with this much you're in there with that much leverage. It's difficult to do it, emotionally speaking, to stay objective. And this is what we try to hammer home, and this is our whole focus. Like, again, I could teach you everything. Like, there's so much other shit that I could teach you. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter unless you're gonna understand what really makes the market tick. And what makes it tick is your fucking emotions, is your behavior. That's what makes it tick. If you don't understand that and all the knowledge behind, options pricing, how big moves happen in the market, big sellers come in, big buyers come in, once you're able to put all that together, that's some serious edge right there.
And we've talked a lot about in webinars this year and stuff and social media and everything like this. Lucci, you've had this transformation, not just in terms of the size or like the size of the gains that you've had and stuff like that and the consistency, but really it's been on the mental side. You are so much less like stressed out on a consistent basis.
I'm so much more objective, bro. I'm so much more objective. I took you guys remember what I said with the drop on Shopify here, right? This is an emotional event. This is a very emotional event, and it was staged just like, I don't know if you guys saw Jesus' webinar with Charlie. This was the last one. This was number 4.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that one, go to that one, okay? Because Jesus just talks about the market from a behavioral perspective. Why? From a gaming perspective, and that's all this shit is, right? This shit is planted here. Maybe there was some news. Maybe there was something, okay? But there was just a cascade of effect. Maybe somebody gutted out of a good amount of shares, and that created some panic. This shit is put in there. It's put in there. Somebody put it in there. Maybe it was a large company. Maybe it was a conglomerate of companies. You know, you never know. But this was put in there exactly for that response, to elicit that type of response, right? And that way, whoever caught this Shopify, whoever made this move happen, literally made 50 million, 100 million, possibly even $1 billion on Shopify in the last 2 fucking days. And you know, you guys might think I'm talking shit here, but nope. That shit is real. That shit is real as fuck. They're the ones coming out with that cash, and you over there, you just got shook out for 80% of your dollars, and you ain't got shit. So what the fuck?
And the reason that Lucci and, you know, a lot of the more senior traders in the room can keep their shit together and their heads on straight through moves like that and hold through the pain that they need to, or let go of it at the right time, is because they have a process that they can trust. That's the whole. That's if there's one thing that we, you know, ram home in this entire series, it's that you have to have a process that you have faith in, that you can rely on. Like one of the things that Jesus was saying in the last webinar that we did is when he feels confused, he just stops, because he trusts his process enough to know that if he can't see clearly while following that process, if he doesn't know what's happening and why things aren't aligning, he's like, I can trust the feeling of confusion that I have, and I know I shouldn't take action. If you don't have a process, if you don't have the tool, the skill sets, you know, to be able to rely on to inform that process, you're going to feel confused all the time. So then you can't listen to that as a signal, and then you're just throwing darts, right? You're fucked. So we're not going to sit here and say tape reading and flow trading and options, like, you know, the stuff that Lucci will teach you, the stuff you'll learn in the course, that's not the only way that you can do this. We're not saying that's the only process out there. There's plenty of people, you know, guys in the room too, who use different types of methodologies and different blends. The important thing is that you have enough experimentation, you try enough things, and you learn actual skill sets about how the market works. You learn how options work. If it's tape, like you have those skill sets figured out so that you can then, you know, execute a process with faith and with trust in it. Lucci, I was thinking about you when I was listening to this Rogan podcast, and he was talking to this fighting a coach, like this elite level coach for UFC fighters, right? And he's talking about how important it is for coaches to be able to watch a fighter and listen to them and not impose a certain fighting style on top of them, right? And I think that's one of the things that distinguishes you in terms of, you know, coach or a mentor for these traders, is like, if you think about the fighting styles for Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali, they were completely different, right? Tyson used to just like walk forward in a ring, stay in close, pummel the body.
He would take punches. He would take so many punches too, man. So many punches.
And just go at you, right? And Ali was completely different. Ali was always headshots. He was always keeping distance. He was using that reach. If you tried to make Tyson fight like Ali, he would have lost. He wouldn't have been the great that he is.
He had shorter reach. Dude, he was 5'11", 5'10". You know?
Right. So completely different guys, different mentalities, different physicalities. They have different styles, and that is, but they all learned how to punch. They all learned the footwork of boxing. Like, you have to have those core skill sets, and you know, that's one of the things that is important for us, I think, to talk about here, just generally for you guys to have a takeaway, whether you take the course or not. Sure. But also in terms of informing really what the course is about. It's like, we're not here to say you got to do exactly what Lucci does. You have to get 200 contracts of an option.
Shit ain't gonna work. Shit ain't gonna work. Shit is not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Very few people can do that. Yeah,
it ain't gonna work. So and again, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot, right? Because Charlie and I could go out there and we could pay, you know, we could buy $10,000 worth of ad space and tell you all this shit, right? We can tell you all this shit, and we could sell a crazy amount of courses or whatever, but that just wouldn't be us, man. So when you take this course, talk to other people who have taken it too. Like, I beat the shit out of people in there. And again, I'm not Tyson. It's not like I'm gonna lay you out on the fucking on the mat or whatever, but you know,
Psychologically,
I'll put you to it.
like,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
we'll
I'll put you to it. That's the way that I have to teach, and that's just the way that you're gonna get it. It's either you see it, and then you figure out how, you know, to create a world for you to get it, or you just keep fighting it. And I see the people who keep fighting it all the time. I see it all the time. And my job as a teacher is to smack the shit out of it.
And to be honest, I mean, fortunately or whatever, we would probably make more money as a business if we were willing to bullshit, you know, about it and say like, here's 1, 2, 3 easy steps towards, you know, fucking six figure year trading. But neither of us can sleep at night if we do that shit. Same thing with Jesus and everyone else in, you know, our operations. So we're not here to make it easy for you guys. Make it easy, and we're not here to lie.
Yeah, the people that come to us, they come to us after they've spent the money at a lot of other things. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so we don't bullshit around. And like I said, I literally just gave you millions of dollars right there. Like, you could literally take this webinar for free and you could figure this game out. But guess what? Do you have the mental capacity to take all those losses to figure it out? Do you understand why options are priced the way they are? Do you understand how the market moves? Are you just looking at charts? Are you just looking at candles and thinking, oh yeah, this stock goes here and there? Why does it? How come Shopify moves 70 fucking points? It's because they shook your goofy ass out and totally deferred. They literally took all of your losses. That's what they did. They took it all. Number one, they made money there, and then they made the move happen after that. So double, you know? They took your money and then laughed in your fucking face about it. And they've been doing this shit for decades. For decades, they've been doing this shit. You know what I mean?
All they do. That's all they do is manipulate emotion. That's the name of the game. And if you guys don't have control over that emotion, not only are you going to lose money, it's going to fucking eat you alive mentally. And we've seen that happen to a lot of traders. It is not a fun path to be on. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of questions in here, so hit us with some questions.
We've got a couple more examples, but you know, I think we hit you hard enough with this one. So let's get some questions going here, and you know.
Yeah, Joseph, you're asking about working on payment plans for the course. Just email me, charlie@lucci.com. Lucci, I'll pull up the page here again, so you guys can run over what we do for the course.
No doubt. For those of you asking real quick before I pass it off to you, Charlie, there's a lot of people asking me about the Chipotle position that I have. Chipotle is kind of similar to Shopify, believe it or not. Like, but it is, but it isn't. It's like I've been watching Chipotle aggressively now for the whole year. Obviously, the whole run up from freaking $400. It's just Bill Ackman's swan song here all day. Like, he's, you know, he took this thing, he was buying this thing all the way even below 300. You know what I mean? And now this shit's back up to $800. There's so many upgrades out there for $900. And I knew, I'm like, there's got to be a washout somewhere. Where's the washout? Here was the washout. I was shorting calls aggressively during this, and this is how I made my money in October. You know, and a little bit in November. And I wasn't really watching. I was just kind of looking at it, and I was like, yo, if this thing gets back over $800, that's it. This shit's going to $900, man. They've shaken everybody out. And now we're going to $900. So I was like, you know what? Last couple of days, I've been like, all right, let me just at least try. So I started buying some 900 June. So I'm going way out there. I'm going to try to play it a little bit differently. I don't know. I got to try something new. Like Ranchero, there's another gentleman who you're going to learn from in the class who brings a whole different world to the technical stuff that we're going to give you, right? So you're going to learn, you know, how to look at options, how to price them. You're going to learn all that shit. And then you're going to learn all these different strategies. Ranchero is another, has a strategy that, you know, combines all of this stuff, combines every single one of the strategies we're going to throw at you, the swing trading style, the writing strategy, and he kind of combined it all to give him a world where he was able to write around these core positions and basically have a freebie, leap trade, so that if your move did end up happening, you're fucking making a killing here. And you're picking names, you know, a little bit differently. So he has a whole different strategy, and it, you know, it's been really kind of eating at me for the last couple of months. So I'm gonna start kind of incorporating some of the shit that he's gonna teach you guys, you know, into my own strategy. So that's why I'm going with these Junes here on the Chipotle. That's why I'm going with these Junes. And then I also bought some January 850s. These things are so expensive. I don't know why they're so expensive. I mean, I do. It's fucking Chipotle. It moves 10 to 20 points a fucking day. And then what I'm doing is I'm scraping premium around it. You know what I mean? So here I'm selling puts next week. I'm selling the puts this week. You know, just scraping $1,300 here and there, $2,000 here and there. That way, the whole lifespan of this trade, whatever this thing does, I'm just going to keep scraping dollars. I'm just going to keep scraping dollars, adding to this core position, provided this thing still looks good, tape still looks good. But I'll tell you what, if this thing goes through 850 again, fuck it, we're going to $900, and I'm making at least 300, 400 grand on this trade. You know what I mean? So that's what, you know, that's the CMG trade anyway. So again, these are all concepts and things that you'll be able to put together once you learn the bet. You gotta go to the root of it. You gotta go to the root of it, and we're gonna teach you how to look at the root, the core of the market from the tape, and that's the core of the market. These are the transactions. How to read these transactions.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, Ranch is a great example of, he came in, he took the course like, you know, a couple years ago. He'd been trading for 10, 15 years, and he was doing well, but he was like, it was like, there's one more level of depth that I need to get to, that, you know, I can't fully put together. He took the course, learned tape, learned flow, and he was like, all right, I don't want to do exactly what Lucci does. It makes me uncomfortable. That's not how I want to trade. That's not how I want to feel. But now that I know everything that he knows, I'm gonna put together the strategy. And he's a beast, and it's really changed the way, especially for people who, you know, want to just feel comfortable taking, you know, doing things out, playing things that are much further out, you know, longer term positions, building that up, and just having a couple huge wins that you take down every year, and then scalping around that, you know, in the short term. You know, that's his style. So he's developed that, and you learn directly from him. So yeah, guys, course starts on Monday, $750 off. So another thing here too is, like, with Lucci opening up the you know, the offices down in Puerto Rico, we're probably gonna have some opportunities for people to go down and trade with him live, and the people who are gonna have the first shot at that are gonna be master course students. So that's something to keep in mind. Once you're in forever, you get lifetime access. So we got people who are coming back. You know, they signed up years ago, and they're still coming back to new sessions because Lucci's always teaching new stuff that he's learned with Ranch.
I'm
same
growing.
thing.
I grow every year now. I grow every month now. You know, in my mentality, and then all of that reflects in what I deliver to you guys.
Right. So if you guys have questions about payment plans, or, you know, just anything about the course, you can hit me up directly, charlie@sangalucci.com. Starts on Monday. We want to see you guys in there. Hope to see a bunch of you in there. So let's take one or two questions here, and let's see, what do we think?
I mean, Lee's got a couple here on the prop firm side of things. I mean, again, like the office in Puerto Rico, guys, like it's just a place where I can trade with you know, other folks down on the island. You know, that's essentially what it is. But I'm also running a small hedge fund as well, where I'm hiring people from the island to trade that capital, and I'm teaching them. I have a particular strategy, working on automation. Charlie and I have a couple of other businesses that we're also starting, and this is going to be the main hub. This is basically going to be the main hub for all of this kind of activity here. You know what I mean? So that's what the office is. We got a lot of desks, obviously a lot of space as well. So again, there is going to be an opportunity for you guys to come down here and trade alongside with me. As far as full-time jobs and internships, none of you would be able to last. So don't ask. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, just ask Spencer what it's like to
don't ask. Right? You don't want to work. You don't want to work for me. Okay, come to the table with something else, and then
many human has been broken by this man. Yair's saying full-time job here. We have another master course around the summertime.
Shit. Do we know? We don't even know, man.
We're doing these less frequently. But another thing too is we have a lot of people who can't join the classes live all the time, who have full-time jobs. That's why we give the recordings. That's why we give access to the steam room. Honestly, obviously we're biased, but most people who put it off and say, I'm gonna wait until the time is right, they don't end up doing it. If you feel like you're ready to learn this stuff, get in. You can watch the recordings when you need to, and then you can come back when the schedule opens up and get into the live classes. So that's usually what we tell people to do. And we have a lot of people who've done that and been quite successful in learning this stuff. So what else we got? Maybe one more question. More questions about the master course. Just guys, hit me up. Charlie@Lucci.com. Kevin's saying Lucci's like Tyson, Ronch is like Ali. I like that. Ronch is trading a little more at a distance, a little more,
I think Matic has a good one. Since I have a small account, would it be a big difference if I would just buy the puts instead of selling the calls? Because I would rather have less risk, but what would be the difference in the profit for the same move? Okay, there's two ways I'm going to answer this. Number one, there's plenty of people in the steam room that also don't have the ability to write options that aggressively. So there were many people in the room that were buying puts. They just bought the 370 puts, or some of them bought the 360 puts, and they were able to get a nice $3 a contract or $4 a contract on that move. Okay, so Matic, whatever you want to do, and again, this is exactly what we're saying for the course. Like the fact that you're asking this question, you need the motherfucking course. You know what I mean? Because there's so many different ways to skin this game. There's so many ways to play this game. My way is not, it's just the right way for me. That's all the shit is. So Matic, as far as difference in profit, if you're talking about profit, you already fucked up. You know what I mean? But again, this is my chance. When you come into the course, I get to smack the shit at you on an emotional level and tell you that this game, like, if you're thinking about the profit as far as what could be made for the amount of risk that you're going to use, like, yes, you got to think about it. Yes, you got to know it, but that can't be the driving factor for you to make this fucking trade, you to make these trades. It's just, hey, shop is topping out. There's an opportunity here. I chose the short calls because I don't know how far it's going to go down. As I sat there and watched the tape, and I was like, damn, I should have bought some puts too. Maybe I'll move lower on my short calls. All that stuff can happen. But you're only going to be able to do it if you're quick enough. If you're quick enough to move around. And it's got to be instinct. It has to be instinct at that point. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to think about profit and all that shit in the heat of the moment, boy, you already fucked up.
And Matic's in the course. So yeah, love it. All right, last one here. John is asking, do we teach Wall Street Jesus stuff in the course? Yes, we do. You get access to the course with Jesus, and then you're in the steam room with Jesus. Lucci teaches you a bunch of stuff that Jesus does. So yeah.
Hell yeah. We didn't talk about it here because there wasn't really that much shop flow per se, but Jesus is fucking integral in most of the decisions that I make from a sentiment perspective, from choosing a name, from, all kinds of shit. Jesus will pick up. He'll just pick up because he knows what to look for, man. He knows what to look for. And me and Charlie have delved deep into this whole data game and options. No doubt you guys have delved into unusual options, order flow, and all this kind of stuff. Everybody now is coming out with services for options as well. Guess what? If you don't have a guy like Jesus who knows what the fuck to look for, you're looking at fucking, you're looking at Braille. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at the Matrix right there, and you don't know what's going on. There's too much to look at. There's too much to look at. There's trillions of dollars happening in the option space every day. And you want to sit there and look through a feed, and you don't know what you're looking at. You have no idea what you're looking at. You need a guy like Wall Street Jesus. I can't even believe he even exists at this point.
It's a whole different conversation, but he puts out more free value than anybody out there on the market. I mean, it's insane. And for $225 a month, what you can get out of him is nuts. Gerald, you're asking if you pay money for the course, will you have to pay to get access to anything else? No, this is it. This is everything. It's not like there's like a little extra, hidden, $500 thing here, whatever. You get access to everything, man. So one-stop shop. All right. I think we've talked you guys' ears off enough. Thank you for coming. Hit me up with questions. Charlie@Lucci.com. We'll get you set up, get in the master course if you're ready to take it to the next level, guys. We hope to see you in there. Thank you for being here.